You're watching Amador County's local television network, TSPN. And now, TSPN News with Tom Slivick. Comprehensive news because in today's world, you need more than just sound bites. TSPN, streaming on the World Wide Web, and now on demand at TSPN TV.com.
Hi everyone, I'm Tom Slivick and welcome to TSPN's News for today. This news in depth. It's Monday, the day before the supervisor's agenda, and we're going to find out before the Board of Supervisors meeting. We're going to find out, we're going to get a pre-agenda report from Supervisor Richard Forster. Welcome aboard, Richard.
Hi, Tom. How are you today?
I'm fine. Did you have a good weekend?
Yeah, very good.
Good. Glad to hear that. So, what kind of a board meeting do we have coming up?
Doesn't look real long on the face, but you never know.
Okay.
As I say usually, but we have a new board, and Supervisor Morgan seems to be doing well and educating herself fast on what's going on.
Well, good.
So I just want to bring up a couple things on the consent agenda. There is under agreements, the 4H Amador Air District Agreement. This is between the County of Amador and the Amador Air District, which all 5 supervisors are seated on that board, as well as members of the cities. But what this is a budget agreement. We received an audit report from the Air District, and in the audit report, the auditor recommended that we have almost like a vetting out of some of these things, because the Air District officer performs a number of duties. A lot of those under the budget analysis of the Air District, there's no vetting process or no one to come back behind him and review what he's done. So it's not a healthy operation, as he said, to only have one person performing that function in a fiduciary responsibility, because that's how things happen.
There's no check.
There's no checks and balances.
Okay,
so what we've done is there will be an agreement here for the county's budget analyst to review the district's financial documents on a quarterly basis and provide that oversight under the recommendations that were given from the auditor. So that written summary of the review will also be provided to the district, and we think that's a good way to minimize any chance of any kind of impropriety happening in the future.
What does that review encompass, Richard?
Basically, she'll be looking at the revenues and disbursements that happen in the district, as well as any other financial obligations that the district has, to make sure that the oversight is there and everything is being done correctly. Only other thing I want to bring up on the consent agenda is that there are a number of committee appointments here, and we're always looking for good people to serve on committees in the county. Most of those, and this was brought up a couple weeks ago by a member of the public questioning how the process is done, and it related that day to Supervisor Morgan's appointment of her planning commissioner. Well, most of the commissions have seats that are available per district. Those per district seats are then looked at by the supervisor and awarded to people based on the qualifications of those individuals that apply. And sometimes there's other things that come into play. But some of these positions, like the ones here, are the Behavioral Health Advisory Board, the Commission on Aging, and there are a plethora of committees out there that people can serve on. This one, I just came off the Commission on Aging. This is very important to me and for our seniors, since we have a large active senior population in our county. So just wanted to make note of that. I think District 2 has an opening now, and some of the other districts also have openings.
So if people are interested, are you asking for them to contact the supervisors?
They should contact either the supervisor or our board clerk or deputy clerk and ascertain what positions are available to see if they're interested. Commission on Aging, for instance, people that get into that position can go all the way to the senior legislature in Sacramento and serve on those positions. So very interesting positions for people. Some people just want to be retired when they retire. Other people want to be active. So just wanted to bring that up.
Okay.
Okay. First up on the agenda, we'll have the Central Sierra Connect. This is a request by an organization called CalNet, which is over from the Shingle Springs area, and it's cal.net is the actual name of the ISP, or the Internet Service Provider, that's requesting this action. You might be interested in this. This is kind of up your line, I believe, but this is brought forward by a grant that was issued by the California Advanced Services Fund, CASF, and it approved the Central Sierra Connect Broadband Consortium, which includes Amador County, Alpine, Calaveras, Mariposa, and Tuolumne counties, for a 3-year program in February 2012. Now, this Internet Service Provider, the CalNet, is also is asking to supplement that grant with some of their own money to do some projects over here in Amador County. And they're what they call a wireless ISP. You probably know all about that. But a wireless...
Certainly not all about it.
Yeah,
okay.
A wireless Internet Service Provider. So a WISP now. I'm trying to make sure that people know all these terms, because I need to get boned up on them too, because this is not my specialty area. But basically what this California Advanced Services Fund and what the Central Sierra Connect Broadband are all about is for areas that have broadband but don't have high-speed internet. And many areas in Amador County, and this is a high priority in the state now, to get those areas that don't have high-speed internet up to speed, especially those areas regionally.
It's difficult to have broadband and have an equality with the rural counties and the larger counties because of numbers, but also the terrain.
Well, I know you're going to like this. This isn't a done deal yet. Our board definitely needs to talk about it, because we have our own Volcano Communications that is doing projects. But this CalNet, a wireless WISP, is interested in combining their own money with the grant money, and they intend to utilize what they call TV white space technology. You ever heard of that?
I think so.
Okay.
It's
TV white space technology, and where they use this is in areas that are heavily forested. And it's proven, the technology has proven to be successful at this point, where they can use this TV white space technology, and it connects people to high-speed internet. Now, you probably know more than me, but they're looking at specifically areas in Amador County, and this is not limited to these areas, but they're looking specifically at the Clinton Road area outside of the Jackson City limits, a portion of eastern of Ione, and an area between Sutter Creek and Amador City off of Highway 49. So they already have some areas identified. I'm sure they'd be receptive to more if people contact them, or people come to our meeting and let them know, look, we're having problems because of the heavily forested area.
Just to see how that would work, okay.
Yeah, so it is interesting. I'm looking forward to the presentation. They want us to pass a resolution in support of their efforts, because when you're trying to get you're trying to be awarded some of these grant funds, one, it helps if you supplement with your own money, but two, it helps if you have a letter from the local government saying we support their efforts.
Right.
So they want the Amador County Board of Supervisors to pass a resolution in support of their activities, and we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Are they doing any of this work in their own counties yet?
Into which county?
Have they been doing any of this work in their own county yet?
I'm sure they've been doing some of this work.
So they'll probably have some examples.
Well, up in El Dorado County, for instance, that's where they're from, in Shingle Springs. But they specifically cite those heavily forested areas where that TV white space technology has been successful. And they're talking about not just unserved areas, but underserved areas too. So a lot of potential here, and for people that don't have the service, they're looking at bringing it up where an area where broadband is available but no wireline or wireless facilities-based provider offer service at advertised speeds of at least 6 megabytes per second download and 1.5 megabytes per second upload. So that must be getting up to the range of high speed then, right?
Well, I think 6 is probably close to the minimum of a high speed.
Well, this is going to be an interesting presentation. Anytime we get into something like this, and as they cite, it's not just for businesses and public buildings and entities. It's for those individuals out there that live in those areas that don't have access.
We hear, and I'm sure you hear all the time, that people aren't as happy with their internet services here in the county. Not necessarily whether you can get Comcast or Volcano's internet service, but there's a lot of places where they're not offered. So this is where this outfit might be able to help out.
And that the CSC, the Central Sierra Connect, consists mostly of the western side of Alpine County, Amador County, Calaveras, Tuolumne, and Mariposa. So I'm sure that this entity, CalNet, is trying to go out to these other counties too and get the same kind of support. We'll hear what Volcano Communications has to say about this. We have not heard from them in this, and we want to support our own local ISP, I guess, is what Volcano Communications would be, but at the same time, if they don't have plans to develop, you want to look at outside companies that are coming in that are self-funded.
Well, I remember hearing something about this white space being offered over there where you were saying, I believe, in El Dorado area. Okay, so we have about 30 seconds. What are we going to come to next? What are people going to hear after this break?
We're going to cover a couple bills. The next we'll cover is Senate Bill 854. This is being brought to us by our General Services Director, John Hopkins, regarding another law that's been passed and will be applicable to all contractors in our county.
Okay, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
You're watching